Hello and welcome to TMA Corner. I am April Chadwick.
I'm Diane Gertis.
And welcome today. It's a nice, cozy, rainy day again in Phoenix. I think the YouTube gods listened to us last podcast or this, whatever we call these, and because we complained about being in Houston when it rained, and then now we've got just puddles everywhere. So.
It's still going to be 100 today.
Oh, is it really? Well, of course, it's Phoenix.
Yeah, okay. Just saying. Although Mike went and opened the windows and stuff because it is nice out right now with the rain. So
for a moment.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm great. Like I said, enjoying this weather, and like kids are back in school and all of that, and just working away. So, and you as well. I think one of the things that Diane and I have been talking, and we thought this would be a good time to go over the loan process. Don't you think?
Yep, this would be a good time. And I also wanted to let you know that if I have to exit the meeting, that our dog is, our wonderful vet picked up Essie this morning, having some issues. So just wanted to let you know, she's got an enlarged heart. And for all those who don't know her, she's old, and I don't know what my husband's going to do if anything happens to her. But anyway, so just to let you know, if I have to exit momentarily, then I'd be back.
Well, and if anyone is in Arizona, East Valley, Dr. Larry Hudman is the best vet ever. So not that we are biased. We just have to say that.
Well, yeah, you worked for him a long time ago before you went to University of Colorado. He helped you get into the vet school there. So
he's amazing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But back to what we were talking about, the loan process, especially for me, some of the broker meetings I've been going over, it really, everything right now seems to be focused on timelines, what to expect, when to cure, but all of it is running around the loan process. So, and I know with COVID, I know with all the things changing, it's a little bit different now. So I'm excited that we're talking about this. So, and as you said, now for everybody knowing, the loan process is not the pre-qualification process. We've been over that. So Diane will go over the actual loan process, meaning once your contract's accepted. And not only, here's a little key piece of information a lot of people don't know. The loan process does not start once the contract's accepted. The loan process starts once we receive the contract, accepted contract.
It's always helpful to have a contract. I'm just saying.
Always helpful. We've just had a few experiences where we never received a contract. So. But go ahead, Diane.
I don't want to bore you too much with all the legal verbiage on the loan process. So just kind of bear with me. And keep in mind, a lot of what I say, even in any of our meetings, is opinions. A lot of it are opinions. So just keep that in mind. If someone tells you something different, I'm not saying that I am the guru of all things. But that being said, once you get pre-qualified for a home loan, I do want to mention, do not go out and buy a new Porsche. Do not charge on your credit card. Do not acquire new credit. Do not co-sign for anyone. In other words, if you are serious about buying a home and you go to your lender and get pre-qualified, that doesn't mean happy day, I can go do what I want. No. It means you're pre-qualified, because here, at least here in Arizona, we have individuals that we qualified back in April who are just now going under contract due to the scarcity of homes. So keep that in mind. When do we start working on the file? Once we have a fully executed contract, that is, because we have to have the address in order to send out the mandated government disclosures. What I do once I get a contract, we immediately contact the title company and ask and get their fees from them. And yet no two title companies are identical. So people always ask me, well, what are my closing costs going to be? At the very beginning, I'll say, expect $5,000 or expect $5,500. But I cannot give you an accurate estimate until after we have the contract. Couple of things. The contract not only will what it'll have, oh yeah, the sales price. And it will have the down payment, but keep in mind, if you decide to change your down payment. That happens all the time, more or less. The other is it'll show whether you're getting a home warranty, who the title company is, and all important, the homeowners association, if there is one, and all of their costs. Once we receive those fees, I immediately send out a congratulations, what to expect email with an itemized settlement, an itemized estimate of the closing costs. And those are pretty easy to read. Title company, estimate of what your impounds, your homeowner's insurance, our $9.95 underwriting fee, appraisal fee, and the impounds for property taxes, homeowners insurance, and the HOA fees. I think I repeated myself. Sorry about that. Plus or minus, we'll take out the earnest money. Let's say you put down $3,000 earnest money. We'll subtract that out as well. And then you will have an estimate, an accurate estimate, although not the all permanent estimate, but it'll at least give you an accurate overview of the transaction. I'll send that to you. It depends on when we'll send out your disclosures. Disclosures are mandated by the government to send out what we call the loan estimate. Now you've got my estimate, but the mandated loan estimate is going to be an over disclosure of fees, especially the title fees, as well as there will not be any debits on it. In other words, we cannot subtract out your earnest money. Don't ask me why. What I say every day, whoever designed our forms has never, ever purchased a home before. But we're stuck with them, and this is what we have to do. Once those mandated forms are sent out to you, those are sent out through DocuSign or some other digitally stamped procedure. Once that's sent, and usually that's within 3 days of the contract being sent to our office. Very important, once the contract is sent to our office, because what do we have to have? We have to have the address. And we will send that out. Once that's digitally signed, at that point, we can start working on your loan. We will order the appraisal. And by this time, you should already have had the home inspection done or had it ordered, and it's in process. And you may ask us to wait to hold off ordering the appraisal until the home inspection is complete. That's your call. At that time, then we are going to update your documentation that you provided us during the pre-qualification. But if you got pre-qualified in April, and now we are in the middle of August, we're going to need new payroll stubs, new bank statements. And I don't care what happened with your Uncle Bob back in '04, that he didn't have to we need them. And sometimes we can do the work number for everyone to get a lot of the income information, but a lot of companies still are not on that or are on a site that we can use. So, and even if we can use it, a lot of time the underwriter will say, hey, could you give me a pay stub? I just kind of want to see what their deductions or what that looks like. So we'd update 30 days worth of pay stubs, 2 most recent bank statements. Here's the kicker.
Yeah.
With all pages. I
know.
Snapshots of your bank statement, just a random transaction history, or my favorite is when they send it through Excel. Those are not acceptable bank statements, and we get it all the time. Well, my bank doesn't send out statements. My bank doesn't send out statements, but I can get those statements of the 2 banks that I bank with online, and we are here to help. We can help you maneuver through that if you can't find them. And if you're self-employed, then you've already gone through us looking at your tax returns. But again, if it's been a while since we pre-qualified you, an updated profit and loss statement, updated bank statements are all going to need to be provided. Once we have the documentation, then we will send it to underwriting. Now, what is underwriting? What do you mean underwriting? Well, underwriting is the one that gives the blessing to the file or approves it. And that is how you will get your loan. But it's up to us as lenders, or us, or me as an as a loan officer, to make sure the documentation you've provided is accurate and that we have everything that the underwriter will require so that we can get a clean approval. So it's up to me to put a little pretty little bow on it, pink, blue, whatever color you want, and before we send it to the underwriter. The underwriter, whether it be conventional, conventional or jumbo, will typically use Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines for approval. If it's VA, we'll use VA guidelines. FHA, we use FHA guidelines. There are so many different nuances in the type of loans, and it's up to us to make sure that we are aware. For instance, the last loan that the last week we had a loan that the underwriter called and said, hey, I just noticed that there's $150 a month deduction taken out of the bank statement. Can you find out? And it looks like it goes to the federal government. Can you find out where the IRS? Can you find out what that is? Well, it turns out my client had to pay the IRS. Didn't have, when he filed his taxes, didn't have the money, so he went on a payment program. So thank goodness it was a conventional loan. We were able to get the 12-month history from the IRS site, or our client did, and he was able to qualify with that. But he had not disclosed that, even though there is a box you would check to say, yes, I do have a, but what happens, we don't see a lot of IRS payments anymore. Luckily, this was fine. The other is, you'll ask, well, why do they ask for, the pay stubs? Goodness gracious. Well, if you pay child support and you did not disclose that to us, your payroll stub probably will show that you're paying child support, and that would be considered a debt. So there are, now the other is, let's say you took a 401k loan out. We don't care. 401k loans, that's your money. We're not going to count that debt against you. But once we go through underwriting, once we have underwriting, a lot of times we'll put you in underwriting and wait for the appraisal to come in. Why? Because it's taking so much longer for these appraisals to come in. And actually there was I posted on my Facebook site, which I haven't posted in forever. I'm sorry, April, but it did state that this is a nationwide problem with appraisers. And a lot of them are not wanting to do appraisals. The other was the age, that a lot of them have aged out of doing appraisals, and they're not being able to find replacements. So it is taking a little bit longer. If you don't need an appraisal, sweet. And who makes that decision? Once we get all your paperwork and before we send it to underwriting, we send it through the National Underwriting System, or AUS. And that's on all loans. FHA, VA, they will require an appraisal. But once we run it through a conventional Fannie Freddie, they will make the determination if appraisal is required or not. The comps, as I like to say, are already baked in. That's if right now, because this could change tomorrow, if you're putting at least 20% down. Jumbo loans all require an appraisal. So, but these are Fannie Freddie loans, the majority, the meat and potatoes that of the loans that we do. Everything is run through the National Underwriting System, or AUS. So let's say I looked at your file back in April and it looked great. Maybe your credit scores are a little bit light. Then when we get the contract and we ran it back through, we may have had an issue. And at that point, we have to scramble. Do I run it through Fannie Mae? Because a lot of times Fannie will take it and Freddie won't, or Freddie will take it and Fannie won't.
I think that's a great thing in the future for us to go over automated underwriting, like what that entails and how we can figure out things.
Correct.
Like, from pre-qual to there.
And I'm just saying, we always get it worked out, but just to let you know that these are the steps. It's not like you just give us their paperwork and we just ship it somewhere.
Mhm.
In our office, we have to run it through the automated system. We have to check that the information you've given us meets the information on the loan application. And then we send it to underwriting, because we don't want there to be issues in underwriting. Nobody wants to
Absolutely.
get to underwriting and find out you overlooked that. For instance, we had one file that the client had not been said they'd been at their job 2 years before, but they were young. But that wasn't true. They had only been there a year and a half. And before that, they were in high school. So you're like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Well, actually, she had worked in high school at the same place. We were able to get it worked out. And there's a lot of, I don't want to get into too much detail about how we are able to I don't want to say fix it, because that's what everyone says, Diane, you need to fix this. So I'm not.
You're a master at puzzles.
Well, I don't, yeah, okay. So tell me how to fix this appraisal issue.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the piece of the appraisal to close on time right now, just saying, and this can change in another 30 days, is to order the appraisal as soon as you get the contract. As soon as you get your disclosure signed, do not hesitate, order the appraisal, and fingers crossed that the home inspection works. Once we get it through underwriting could and probably will ask for additional documentation. Most of the time, it's very minor. They may want to, for instance, an address may have showed up on the credit report. What is this address? It was not disclosed on the loan app. And a lot of times that credit report has got I hate to say this, a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
They have dates wrong, incorrect on it, of timelines of people. I'll say, hey, we need to type out where we'll do it through DocuSign, and say, hey, just let us know what happened when you lived at 123 Maple Street. You go, my goodness, I haven't lived there since I was growing up back in the 70s. How did that come up? So those are all the kind of things that shouldn't be on the credit report, but are. Once we get the appraisal in, the appraisal has to be underwritten, approved by the underwriter. So although we've not had any issues in a long time, because the appraisal management takes care of a lot of the issues, the appraisals are ordered through appraisal management. And what that appraisal management is like a round robin, and they send it to an appraiser. Because as lenders, we are not to have any communication with the appraisers whatsoever. That being said, once that appraisal is submitted to us, the underwriter will underwrite it. So just because it comes in at sales price, not a good idea to do the happy dance until the underwriter has had a chance to view it. As I said, we haven't had issues in a long time, but just saying that the underwriter has that, he or she is the final say. Once we have all conditions cleared, then we will, and a lot of times I say once conditions are cleared, let me roll that back. Once we have asset conditions cleared, and we have your income conditions cleared, and usually the appraisal, then we'll order what we call the closing document. The closing document is we work with the title company to have an accurate estimate of the fees and any deductions you may have, such as your earnest money, or if the sellers agreed to pay some towards closing costs. At that time, those will be disclosed on the closing document. It will have your insurance. Oh, and part of that, your home insurance, in case there's a big wind and you need to replace the roof. Home insurance, all clients need to look at securing that home insurance at the beginning of the transaction, not the end, in case for whatever reasons there may have been an issue with the property. The reason for that, I'm sorry, April, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, just you'll probably go ahead and say it. So go ahead, and if I have anything to say, I'll say it.
For instance, if there was a flood in the house within the past 2 or 3 years, it should show up on a clue report, or it'll show up on some report. And that I'm not saying it will, it could increase your premium. Not saying it will, but you need
That
to
is
secure. And also your zip code of where you're purchasing could also determine the rate that you're getting. For instance, I don't want to, but anyway, there are a lot of reasons why you should look into the home insurance upfront rather than at the end. We definitely,
and then in a lot of the broker meetings that I'm going to, that is one of the big things, is to have your clients order or contact their insurance person during the inspection period. Because you never know things in the house, like you said, the clue report, and it could affect their insurability, as well as you said, their rate. They could have a lot higher of insurance than they ever imagined.
yeah. Oh, and this is an insurance rate. And let's go back to, when do we lock the loan? We will lock the loan we like to wait till after the home inspection, because that's where a majority of the clients will opt out, because sellers right now are not fixing anything. We had one that needed a new roof, new air conditioner, and they said, we're out. We'll go find something else. Don't care. That's taken us 3 months to find this house. But I will take my instruction from the client. If they want us to wait till after the home inspection, we will. If I think that the rates are going up and I'm worried, I'll lock it at the beginning. Some lenders will not lock till after the home inspection, and some will not lock now till after the appraisal, but not us. I just kind of take my instruction from my client. We have a discussion and see how they feel. That being said, you have to have the rate locked. You have to have your homeowner's insurance. We'll send out the closing document or CD. That may not be 100% correct. A lot of times we can't get hold of the title company. They're busy, or it's one we haven't used before, or it's one of the, I won't name their names, that just are not very responsive. We will send out that CD to get a signature on that closing document from our client to start the 3 business day clock before we can have you sign your loan documents. And then that gives us that 3 business days to what I call clean up the closing document and have exact numbers before you sign your loan documents. We have to have the closing document signed first. May not be 100% correct. We try to get it as close as possible to start the 3 days. And it is imperative that once you receive that closing document, you sign it. Especially in this day of appraisals taking longer. A lot of times, although we hate it, we sometimes are down to the wire on getting it closed on the designated close date on the contract. And that designated close date isn't a suggestion. It is a contractual agreement that that close date will be met. Now, obviously things come up. Home inspections get delayed. Like I said, appraisals. We have other things that may delay it. But that's what we as a lender strive to do, is make the close dates. Once we do the CD, then we clean it up if need be, then you're ready to sign your loan documents. The loan documents right now, the title companies were opening back up, but I've heard that some of them are now not taking as many clients in the title companies. So they'll send a notary to your home or whatever location of your choice. Or if it's at the title company, you will go in to sign and with an escrow officer. Before COVID, I went to every single closing that I could so that I could help go over the note, the deed, and all of the supporting documents. The note that you'll sign, say, I promise to pay this loan back at this interest rate over the term, say 30 years. It's a 3-page doc, easy. There's no prepayment penalty. Pay it off early anytime. And then the deed. The deed is a 13-page document, really little tiny print. And it basically gives all the issues that will happen if you choose not to pay the loan back. It also is public record. So if once that deed, once it's recorded, which will be the next step after you sign all of the loan documents. The deed and the note are the two most important, but your package is going to be probably like this, depending on the type of loan it is. The rest of them, the documents, sorry to say, standard for all loan packages, but they are what I call CYA. The bank wants to make sure you understand what you're signing and why. After those are signed, then we will fund the loan. In other words, we'll pay off the seller's loan. The loan will be funded and the title company will record. After it's recorded, you get your keys. Now on the contract, if it says close date September 30th, that doesn't mean September 30th at 8 a.m. That means September 30th up to 5 o'clock.
End of day, close of
End of the day. So just keep in mind that if you're planning on movers, don't do it. If you're going to do it the same day, do it late in the day. Or even, it's always a good idea not to plan movers until we're to the CD point where everything's been cleared. Just saying.
Right. Well, as our kind of rule of thumb, one of the things, don't make closing dates on a Friday, and try not to schedule movers the same day as closing. That gets a little spicy.
It gets a little, yeah, it does. And the deed is public record. Once it gets recorded down at the courthouse, you're going to get so much trash. I mean, you're not going to believe all of the scammy mail you're going to get. Send me money, send me this. You want a copy of your deed? Send me $85. Boys and girls, those deeds are public record, and the title company is going to send you one anyway after close of escrow, and you can get one on your own off the county site. So just saying, don't send anybody any money. And also there's a lot, they also know who the lender is. A lot of these scammy people or scammy entities, and they'll have all this junk. They'll say, did you send me this? I said, no, but this is the kind of people that do these kind of things. Anything for a buck, anything that they think that they can take advantage of a lot of people. But once you get your keys, the house is yours. Go, that it's yours to paint and live in and enjoy. And it's just such a great feeling to see people move into their new homes.
Well, and that is why you're so great at what you do. So think of all the families you put in homes.
No, there are a lot of good loan officers out there. Remember, this all starts with getting a strong pre-qualification. And then to let you know, the other is, oh, please, I should have done this at the beginning. With your loan officer, ask you for something, do not argue. The time it takes to argue with needing a new bank statement or needing a new or needing a new pay stub, you could have already sent it. It's not that we want to overburden you. We do not. But this is either items that we feel we need or we have a reason to ask for it. And don't send me stuff you think I need. If you've got questions, pick up the phone and call or send a text or email, and let us just understand. All loan officers, the good loan officers, would love to be able to assist you in providing the correct documentation rather than getting something that we can't use and then having to contact you again.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know. Is there anything I forgot? I know there's a lot there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rambling on.
No, but I mean, like, one of the things, this isn't going to be, going over the loan process isn't something that you're just going to go over in 2 seconds. So it's a lot of information, but a lot of information that people need.
Yeah. Main thing is if you're going to buy a house, boy, make sure that you do not buy anything. Don't co-sign for anyone. Just keep your end.
You mean once you're in the process of buying a home? Sorry, once you're in the process of buying a home, if you're in the process of your loan is being processed, don't buy another home, don't co-sign, don't quit your job.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Don't forget your. And at one time, I had an engineer. I mean, if I've said this before, but I had an engineer who quit his job the day we were verifying that he was still employed the day of funding, and he goes. Well, he quit his job that morning. He goes, well, I have to move. I'm going to look for another job. No, we have to have it. Well, you didn't tell me not to quit my job. Okay, don't do drugs, don't step in front of a bus. I mean, I got a million of them. So he did go back and get his job, but don't quit your job. Thank you, April. That is a very good one.
I'm always here to help.
But once you have your keys and it's verified that you have recorded, it's your house. Next day, go out and buy your refrigerator, go out and buy your Lamborghini. At that point, just make sure it's recorded.
There you go. Well, thank you for all of that. Well, what do you have? I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope that Essie, I hope you hear from Dr. Hudman and Essie's doing okay.
Yeah, I hope she is too, but I have to get, now I need to go. I'm fighting with appraisal management company, and we've got great appraisal management companies, not their fault. It's just really a different time right now.
It's a different time, and for everybody out there, please be healthy. So you guys out there, stay healthy. It's kind of crazy out there again. So stay healthy. A lot of people around getting sick. And then also it's funny because it is rainy here and today is National Lazy Day. So for those of you, I know I never get the memo of those ahead of time. I would love to do that. Be like, oh, can't come in today. Can't work today. Why? It's National Lazy Day.
You see how lazy my hair is. It just never mind. It's just.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for everything you do, Diane. And once again,
April, thank you. I don't know if you guys know how much she does for the Mortgage Advantage. She is just so incredible, and just, oh my goodness, we love her.
Thanks.
I love that face. So
yeah. Well, and I'm April Chadwick. And you can reach me at 602-740-5319. You can follow us at TMA Corner on Instagram. And, if you guys have anything that you want to go over or questions or want to be on or anything, let us know. And then for the lovely Diane.
Diane Gertis, my phone number is 480-235-5667. Please call me anytime.
Woohoo. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe.
Take care. Bye.